Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor and today I'm going to tell you my 8 favourite books of 2020. So far I've read 65 books in 2020. By the time the end of the year rolls round, I may have added 1 or 2 more to that list because I am pre-filming, but a lot of them are rereads, so I'm not worried about coming across a new favourite because I'm reading lots of books I've already read before, because that's what I do. I reread books all the time. So I have 8 books that I absolutely loved this year and I read for the first time, and I can't wait to share them with you. These come in no particular order except my very favourite book of the year. And if you've watched my last few videos this last month or so, you'll know what that book is already. The first book I want to mention is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I watched the film Jurassic Park maybe 15, 20 years ago. No, not 20 years ago. Maybe about 15 years ago I first watched Jurassic Park, and I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was quite scary, and I'd never read the book until this year, and I absolutely loved this. This was such a fantastic story, and it melded together a really exciting topic of like dinosaurs, along with the intelligence of like DNA and things like that. And I just thought it was a very well balanced story and very violent and gory, and I just loved it. It was such a fantastic read. I then watched the film and thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was a really true to the book adaptation. I have an individual book review of this book that I'll leave linked below. And I won't say that for every book, but I think most of these books I have individual reviews, and I'll just leave them all linked in the description so that you can peruse them at your leisure if you're wanting more information about any of these books that I loved. The next book I'm going to mention is actually a novella, and it's To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. Becky Chambers is the writer of the Wayfarers series, which is another series I absolutely love. And this is a novella that's got nothing to do with that world. You're following a couple of astronauts, I believe 4 astronauts, and they are travelling deep into space. And because they're travelling so far from Earth, they have to go into a kind of status so that they can survive how long the journey is going to take. And they know, because they're travelling so far from Earth and they go to sleep for that long, by the time they get to their destination, a century's passed or something like that on Earth, so that they know that all their family and loved ones are gone and they'll never see them again. So it's very much a kind of one-way trip, even though they do return. And I just thought this was beautiful. I could have read a full-length novel 600 pages long in this world, and the fact that it was only, oh, it's so small, like 153 pages, was really sad. But this was a beautiful book. I need to reread this soon. Just the science behind it and how they were exploring these worlds, and these worlds they were actually exploring, how interesting they were. The characters were so diverse. There's just so much representation in this book, and it's so small, and it was just beautiful, and I need to read it again. Oh, gorgeous. The next book I'm going to mention is The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. I've most recently finished this book. It's the 3rd and final book in the Winternight trilogy by Catherine Arden, and I've given all these books 5 stars. This is a fantastic series, absolutely brilliant. Set in medieval Russia, following Vasia, a young girl who has magic and can see the kind of spirits and magic of the world. But it's a time in medieval Russia when Catholicism is coming in, and there's this kind of balance and battle between the magic of the land and the people and this new religion that they're experiencing, and it's this kind of power of wills in this land, and Basset's trapped in the middle, and it's beautiful. I absolutely love this. You feel like you're in Russia with her, and everything about this is great. The atmosphere, the character growth and development. You feel like you're in Russia in the depths of winter, and the characters are brilliant, and I've said the same thing again and again. It's so good. Can't recommend this trilogy enough. The next book I'm going to mention is The City in the Stars by Arthur C. Clarke, and this is a classic science fiction novel. So this is set hundreds of thousands of years into the future, and how to describe this? It's set so far in the future that humanity and the Earth is kind of mostly being destroyed, and the last of humanity is living in this kind of domed city, and it's all contained and it's self-regulating, and the people in humanity have forgotten what it's like outside, and they don't know why they ended up inside, and it's just a very bizarre version, futuristic version of humanity. And it was just so interesting and so well written and nuanced, and just raised a lot of really interesting questions, and the world was just very, very interesting and so well crafted. It's like lauded as like the perfect city, and it's like the last city, but then you follow one young man who sees the flaw in the system, as you do in a kind of utopia like this, and it goes from there, and it's so interesting. And hello, Calcifer, your first appearance in this video to attack me and nibble my hair. Are you going to come sit with me? No, he just wants in the bookshelves. Of course he does. He's just going to potter about in the background. The next book I absolutely loved in 2020 was Fade by Myra Grant. This is the first book in the Newsflash series, and it's a zombie post-apocalyptic book. You're following siblings, and it's set about 20 years, 25 years, or 30 years. I can never remember. I always get it wrong. I should really read it and check. Calcifer! No! He knocked over the shepherd. What did he ever do to you? Nope. Nope. It's my wee miniature nativity set. Let's take that down. What are you doing? You pissed. Showing off for your fans. I don't even know if you can see him in that shot. You're following brother and sister duo who in this world, 20 years after the kind of initial outbreak of zombies, write blogs. So there's still the traditional media where you're filming and uploading to television, but in this world, these two people run online blogs and they're reporters. And I didn't expect what I got when I went into this. I didn't know how I would like it. And this is such a unique take because you don't normally follow like non-traditional media, especially in a book like this in a zombie post-apocalyptic story. I can't get my words out. But they're following the presidential election, and never have I been so interested in following a presidential election in my life, and this is fictional because I don't know anything about American politics really, and it was so interesting, but to see how different it is because of the zombies and how complicated this world is and things like that, it was so good, and I can't wait to continue on with this series in 2021. I love this. The next book I loved was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. What's that? Is that my knee? No. This was brilliant. So well done. You just really want the nativity. You're not getting it. You're following a man called Jason, who is a physicist, and one day he's walking home at night and he is like drugged and kidnapped and taken to this box and shoved through, and he's very confused because the person who's taken him seems familiar to him, and this is a world of infinite like parallel universes, and Jason ends up on this adventure working out who's kidnapped him, why is he in a parallel Earth, what's behind that, and it just gets so complicated and it's just so intricate and everything links together very, very well, and I'm not sure I'm making much sense, but it's really easy to spoil this book, so I'm trying hard not to. It's so good. It's such a wild ride, and it just gets more and more complicated and convoluted, and asks so many really interesting questions. And yeah, it's about parallel worlds and things like that, and I loved it. Hopefully that made sense. My next favourite read of 2020 was A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is the second novel in the Wayfarers trilogy by Becky Chambers. I also read her third book, Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. this year as well. I also gave that 5 stars, but I've picked this one to mention as my favourite because this continues on from A Long Way to Small Angry Planet, which is my favourite, so brilliant. But they're not like direct sequels, they're more like companion novels set in the same world, although you do follow a couple of similar characters from that original book, so I don't want to say too much. But this series isn't heavily plot based. It's not about the plot, it's about the characterisation and these alien planets and these alien species and how complicated they are and how nuanced they are. And it's about all these human relationships and interspecies, inter-alien relationships, and it's just beautifully constructed. So well done. I'm not going to say anything about the plot, just you don't need to know that. And I just think her writing is so lovely, and it's not something I ever thought I would really enjoy because I normally only really like stories that are heavily plot focused. If they're very much focused on characterisation, I'm looking for a plot. I find them really slow and I struggle to engage, but not with this series. This isn't about the plots at all. They're very slow moving. It's about the relationships and the people, and I love them. They're so good, so I would highly recommend this. And last but not least, my favourite book of 2020. If you've been watching my videos for the last few weeks, you'll have heard me singing its praises, and that is Parasani by Susanna Clarke. I love this book. This book hit me perfectly, and I can understand why this might not be for everyone. It's a very specific type of book, but I love weird and unusual things, and this hit perfectly. Susanna Clarke, if you don't recognise the name, is the writer of the huge book Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I haven't read that book because I've been intimidated by how massive it is, but reading and loving this so much, I really want to pick it up in 2021. This book, you're following a character called Parasani, and he's in this labyrinth. There's massive like statues, like think Roman-esque or Greek statues, in this endless labyrinth that is over a few floors and periodically floods. And this house, Parasani looks after it and finds it beautiful, and is happy to be there, and is trying to discover what's going on in this world. Parasani is the only person here except him and one other person called the Other, and this is a story of their relationship together, who they are to each other and how they ended up there and what this world is. And it's beautiful, it's so moving. I love this so much, and it's such a short book. I don't know if it would be called a novella as well because it's like 250 something pages. So it's a really short book, but absolutely stunning. I love the gold foiling, and it's beautiful under the dust jacket as well. So yes, that was a whirlwind of my top 8 books of 2020. Let me know if you read any of these, if you've loved them, or if you now want to read them. I would love to chat. These are my favourite books of this year, and I'm always up for talking about them and getting people to read them. I've got a few more videos coming for the end of 2020 where I just summarise all my reading for the year. But I want to just thank you for sticking out for me for this through this year. I started this channel a year ago on the 21st of December, and it's been so exciting to see this channel grow so much and to have all your subscribers here, and we can chat in the comments, and I've made so many fantastic online friends who love reading too, and it's just been really exciting. So I'm looking forward to 2021, and I hope my channel can grow more and that I can gain more confidence in making videos, and I will have a video coming soon of what my plans are for 2021. I also just want to mention before I finish off that my sister has her own business. It's called NicBhatair. I will leave the website linked in the description, where she makes lots of beautiful things. So this is one of what she's made, this jumper, and she's a Scottish Gaelic artist and designer, so all her designs and her cards and her tote bags and her hats and everything she makes is done in Scottish Gaelic. So I would love it if you could check out her website and her social media below and just spread the word for my sister's business, because her work is beautiful. She's a fantastic artist. I'm really proud of her, and I want people to see her work and to buy it if they're interested. So yeah, I would really appreciate that. So thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.